Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. Today we're doing our technical assistance webinar. I've got some things to show you that hopefully you'll be all excited about. We do have the new name set up on the page, so you'll all still go to CYEP partners, but we have SYEP included on there. You still will access the tool from where the home button is. I have to change that text right there. We do have a public page that you can share out to your youth now and get them to fill out the application. So if you click on this link right now, right here, it goes to a public page. I'm going to open it up in a new tab. We have CYEP. We've got some explanation about the programs. We've got benefits, eligibility requirements so that they can look at that. We have the providers on here. We have a link right here that they can apply, or they can go to the top of the page and apply online by clicking on that. It takes them to the next page. We have some apply now. We have printed directions about completing the application for the youth. And then we have some video instructions. So I just did these this morning. I rushed through them so that I could have them done in time for the webinar, but it walks people through the steps of completing the application, and it reminds them to do both the Illinois WorkNet application as well as the program application. Then they can move on, look at some resources. They can move on and submit a success story. They can, you can share this information with an employer to have this, tell them why they would want to participate with your program and employ some of the youth for the summer. So this is available through your link on the CYEP page. And if they go to Illinois WorkNet, if they just happen to run across it, it is down here under the Illinois initiatives. It's showing up right here in the second row of Illinois initiatives. So this is the only way that it's accessible publicly, but you can always share this link with anybody and then they can take a look. A couple of excuse me, other things that we did, we updated some instructions, and those are in here. One of the pieces that we updated just recently was on the dashboard, I'm sorry, on the progress page for a customer. We have a spot where you will pick CYEP or SYEP. And so anybody that's doing just the summer youth would, in the enrollment here, would select, we have to update this on test. I have our programmer working on this. He is going to be taking out the COVID pilot, so it would be either CYEP or SYEP. And we are going to be adding a date field that you can select because Brandon, you're on the call, unmute yourself and tell them about the dates.
Okay, the date for SYEP, I think is going, as of it stands right now, it's going to be able to enroll youth back to June 1st. But once we get funds approved and everything, we will have that for sure. But that's, as what I know right now, June 1st will be the first date.
Okay, and we plan to have this change effective tomorrow. He's working on it first thing in the morning, so then you'll be able to switch the enrollment from CYEP to SYEP for the extended period of time. Is that correct, Brandon? It's the extended period.
Yes, but let me make this absolutely clear. We don't have the funds approved for each of the providers yet, so you can't start paying the youth $15 until we get that finalized.
And Eric is asking, can a person be selected for both programs? Was CYEP now summer?
Yes, they can absolutely be in CYEP and then see SYEP if they haven't exhausted their 13 weeks of subsidized employment.
All right. Yeah. Yancey said he enrolled 6 youth yesterday. He could enroll them in any of the programs yesterday. Yeah, and we're just making the date addition so that we know when we shift them from regular CYEP to the summer youth employment.
Okay.
And everyone, sorry, Dee, but I'm sure everyone wants to know probably when they will know about the funding for the CSYEP. And I know Carrie had a big meeting today, and she hopes that we'll be able to communicate with everyone tomorrow, by the end of the day tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay. Sounds good.
But that's all I know as of right now. Sorry, I can't give more information. That's all I know.
Well, at least you shared that much.
I can share only what I know.
That's right. That's right. Okay. We do have the update for the career plan for the employment completed. So if you didn't happen to be on the call the last time, I'm going to go over that real quickly here. Under the permanent employment, oh, he doesn't have it. Under the employment piece that you add for a customer, we have the step, and in here, once you pick an employer, we have the subsidized wages still here. We have the new dates for a start employment, if they end their employment, if they become inactive by their status, when they return, and then the subsidized start date may be the same as the start date, but we have the subsidized end date. And we put a reminder on there that if you have a subsidized end date, you cannot have a wage in the subsidized wage slot. So that's just to help remind you to take that out. LaDon is asking, Brandon, you're going to have to answer this. Will youth have to complete a separate application for CSYEP if they are already in CYEP?
I want to say no, but I'll verify that.
I do too, because we're just shifting them.
Right. I would say only if they're a brand new youth.
That's what I would assume. But you know what happens when you assume things.
I have found that out in the last couple of months more than anything, yes.
All right, so it's my understanding that if any of the youth were affected by COVID-19 layoffs in any way, they are eligible for a new set of 13 weeks of work experience. I believe that Carrie addressed that on one of those other calls. Brandon, do you remember?
Yeah. Yes, it's just 13 weeks total. So if they've worked 6 weeks and then they were affected, I mean, they still would have 7 weeks left for CSYEP. It's not a new 13 weeks.
Did that answer your question? They were getting paid even if they were off work, right? But if they need to complete their work experience, their actual work experience, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
So Jim Bell's saying, just to clarify, if a participant was in CYEP in FY20 and exhausted their actual 13 weeks of working, is that what you're saying, Jim? They cannot be paid a subsidized wage for the CSYEP program.
Correct. If they've already exhausted their 13 weeks.
Now, if they worked 6 weeks up to like whatever that date in March was, they got laid off or whatever because of COVID, they were continuing to get paid, they would still have that 7 weeks that they could continue to work.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So somebody says Carrie had emailed and said they were available for a new 13 weeks. And let's go back.
I'll check. I'm almost sure she said on that call that it would be just 13 weeks total.
If they're a brand new youth, they would get 13 weeks.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Nanette from JCFS is asking, do all youth get enrolled in SYEP or only those that are in work experience? CYEP is ending as of June 30.
Yes.
So that means that you would be enrolling them in CSYEP if they're a new youth, as soon as Brandon tells you that the funds are available.
Right.
All right. Captain Explosion. Captain Explosion, you need to change your name on your computer. Eric says, well, Captain Explosion wanted to know, please explain again, and I'm not quite sure if we got your explanation for you. So please let us know. Eric said, okay, it was my understanding from that call and from the program plan that they were eligible for a new 13 weeks. The question was asked on the call and answered in that way. So let's double check, Brandon, and get an email out to everybody, please.
Yes, I'll double check on that right now, actually, if you have other stuff to go through.
All right, and Cheetah said the same thing. All right, so we're asking questions about everything except for Illinois WorkNet. Can a youth receive a stipend or continued pay if they were displaced due to looting of their work site?
I already have that question in to Carrie. I'm waiting for a response. I know she has some big meetings today, though, so.
Eric, I really doubt. You're just an instigator. Okay. All right. So that is those are the big pieces that we had to go over. Worksite. Oh, that's the other piece. Worksite evaluations are going to get tested today and tomorrow, and we should have the new version of that up. And then very shortly thereafter, hopefully by the end of this week, we should have the digital version of the self-evaluation. But let me show you, you should have received an email with the self-evaluation in it from Brandon. Were you able to get that out to everybody? Observational evaluations are not showing complete. It could be a loop there. What I will do, everybody, is I will add this to the documents on the partner page so that you can use this and save them. And we are going to have an upload option so that you can upload a finished copy of it instead of having the youth redo it on the computer. So the essential employability skills self-evaluation is just that. They can do a self-evaluation of where they think their skills are on these 10 characteristics. These totally sync with the way that the worksite evaluation is going to be remodeled, and the definitions will explain. So what we have here is boxes that they can check, and Their reasons for the self-evaluation are not really, a little sometimes, I think so most of the time, yes to all, or almost always. Those are what the youth are going to answer. And then down below, we have the definitions, the rubric for what those skills and qualifications fall into. So that when you're talking to your youth, you have the definitions of the category and then what the meanings of it are. So if a youth is talking about self-presentation, it's cleanliness and dressing appropriately. If they answer not really, I'm not sure how to dress the right way for work. Or a little sometimes would be, I think I have a good idea of how to dress the right way for work, but might need help. And then I think so most of the time would be, I feel confident that I understand the right way to dress for work. And then yes to all, almost always is, I take pride in being well groomed and know the right way to dress for work. So what I would do is I would give the youth the self-evaluation, the whole piece with all the definitions, and then just explain to them that they can read what these definitions mean. When we go live with the actual digital version of this, there will be a little pop-up button by each one that gives them the actual definitions that are down here in the rubric so that they can say, oh, well, I'm not really sure what that means. Then they can hover and it will tell them what that definition means. So I will put this up on the partner page so that you can access it there. I'll make sure that that gets up there today. All right, I think that is all of the new pieces. Anybody have any questions about Illinois WorkNet? And just an update on Employment 101, we're getting there. We hope to have it done, at least some of it, because I have to put together a video demonstration of it for a conference in July, and I have to have that put together by next Wednesday. So I'm hoping that we have at least some screens done. We've got a couple of really cool new tools that are going to be in Employment 101, and I'm really excited to share that with all of you in the next couple of weeks. All right, I'm looking at the chats. And I'll check, Beach, I'll check on the observational evaluation. I am not sure what's going on with that. Once we get the self-evaluation done and the worksite evaluation, the observational evaluation might become a little bit obsolete. So I'll keep you guys posted on that one as well. So anyway, I don't think that there's much else. Brandon, were you able to find an answer at all for any of those items?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, I was able to talk with Fran, our bureau chief, and she said that they do get a new 13 weeks. So they'll be happy to know that. So if a youth, their subsidized work experience was interrupted during COVID, so they didn't get their whole 13 weeks, then they will get a whole new 13 weeks in SYEP.
Eric is typed applause.
Yes, well, Fran said they are right. I said, okay, I don't have any problem admit, I've been on too many different calls and had stuff change on me too much the last couple of months. So I will definitely admit I'm wrong.
that shows great character.
What was the other question you asked me, Dee? If something about was it sending out that email or something?
Yeah, and it didn't get out. So I'm just going to put the self-evaluation up on the partner page so that it's there. And I think there's enough people on the call that they'll see that they'll know where to find it.
Okay. Do you want me to send it out again?
You can, because a lot of people didn't get it. If you did.
Okay. I think, yeah, I know what happened. I received that, and then I thought that you wanted to talk to me first before I sent that out, and then I never went back and sent it out.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and send it out? I'll still put it up on the partner page.
Okay, great.
Yay.
Okay.
All right.
Dee,
Yes.
Dee, this is Janice Mitchell, and I sent you an email earlier, so I joined a little late. But I think when I joined, there was a agency that was talking about, I think the fact that they had enrolled maybe a couple or so youth, and I just didn't know whether or not they were enrolled in the summer employment program, or was that a continuation of their regular youth employment? And if it was the summer, I'd just like to hear what their experience was in going through the system after the training yesterday.
Janice, the person that enrolled them in the summer youth was a carryover agency. It was not one of you
Okay.
of the new group.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just so that we know, for all of the agencies that are brand new for just the summer, you do have to have a Illinois WorkNet account so that I can promote you to the organization.
So I'm sorry, but
so that you
with
can
that
have
in mind,
access to the dashboards.
so with that in mind, because we are a WIOA agency, and so
I just
do
have to add you to the group.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so do I need to get you any specific information? Because we do use the WorkNet now to enter case notes and other things.
Okay, then I just have to add you to the CYEP group.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Fran wouldn't let you choose a program. It wouldn't let you choose, Yancy, between CYEP or SYEP?
No, I tried to at the verification process, and then at the end of that it says submit a program. And when I try to choose one, it wouldn't accept it. Now I went in today and I tried again on one use and it accepted it. But when I tried on the other ones, it still wouldn't accept it.
So on here, you couldn't accept one or the other of these.
Well, I can enter that part, but it's the enrolled declined to participate. I couldn't verify them eligible.
Okay, so one of the things that I noticed yesterday when I was testing on it, that this took its sweet time coming up. So give it just a minute. Pretend
Okay.
pretend you're on dial-up.
Okay.
Because I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
so those youngins on the call just don't know. So
Right.
so give it a minute, and if it still doesn't work, then send me a note or an email so that I can double check that customer.
Okay. Now I have one more question too.
And wait, Veach said she had to refresh her screen, then it would let her.
Okay. Okay. Now the youth were doing the employment one-on-one guide activities.
Yes.
And they'll click on the activity, and for some reason it said server error. We had about 3 of the kids, and actually I'm taking in 3 new intakes today, and they're overtaking the thing now. And I got a young man who did the same thing. He clicked on the activity and it said server error.
All right, that I have to check that one out. It could be a timeout on your system. It could be that it shouldn't be that we're working on it, but it also could be something going on in Springfield with their internet stuff.
Okay,
So you know, you never know with the weather and all that kind of stuff, what's happening where.
Okay, so probably what I'll do is just have them skip that part, and then maybe tomorrow do it.
Yeah, and I'll have somebody check on the servers just to see what's going on.
Okay.
All right. Margarita from SGA is saying, maybe this is a silly question, but are we to switch over our current CYEP youth to SYEP now? or once we have a budget, or June 30th. So Brandon, did you read that?
No, sorry, I have my screen minimized. I can't get it to full screen again, so I can't see anything that they're
Okay.
typing.
So
Yeah.
it's saying for enrolling in SYEP, their start date wouldn't be until July 1, or could it begin in June? That's basically the question, and I got it from 2 different people.
As of the information I just received this morning, it could go back to June 1st, but again, once we know that everyone is funded and we have the go ahead and everything, then we will know if we can go back to June 1st or when the start date could be.
So if they're in CYEP now, they still have money if they're in CYEP.
Yes.
So SGA and I think this other, Francesca, I'm not sure what agency you're with, but if you're brand new, you got to hold off on the enrollment date. If you're moving from CYEP to SYEP, then you can probably do it as soon as you know your budget's available. That's what I would probably do.
Right. And we're hoping to know something concrete by tomorrow on the funding and the start date.
All right. And I found out a new trick, but I have to test some things first. So I have a new toy for y'all to play with, but I won't be telling you about it until the 30th, because I've got to do some testing first, just to make sure that how it works. But you'll be excited. Talk about a teaser. All right, I'm going to come back to the the attendance. And did anybody, Andrea, it's about, okay, I'll do a little test. I'll do a little bit here. Under reports, it is customer services, and it's the customer services report. And if I look at a project, and if I look at CYEP and I select a grantee, and I see all of the services that are available for one of my customers. So all of these steps have been added to a customer. So on here, I've got total customers without a step or service. And if I click on that 30 people, it shows me the list of the people that don't have the step, and you have some dates and end dates and planned due date and weekly hours. You can add it to their career plan. You can update the status. So I'm going to do some testing on this, and I'm going to show you guys how you can use this for inloading a whole bunch of customers. All right, so play with it if you want to, but I'm going to show you for sure how to use this next time. All right, back to attendance. Albany Park, did anybody come?
Yes, Albany Park is here.
Okay, Boys and Girls Club Chicago,
Yes, here.
Centers for New Horizons, Chicago Area Project, Employee Connections, Leadership Development, Leslie Bates, Phalanx, Project Oz, Universal Family Connection, West Side Health Authority, Peoria, did anybody get here? Employee Connections. Peoria Public Schools, West Side, I know one of these new ones told me they had another meeting. Okay. All righty. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And we will talk to you on the 30th, if not before. You know, you guys can call me or message me and get some help. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.